this week's edition of Hawk Talk. A big week for all sports, all fall sports coming up. And this is the Blue Feather Focus. The Blue Feather Athletic Association is the funding body to bring students from all over the country. And we're joined by one of those students today. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Where are you from and what brought you to Dickinson State?
I'm Shaylee Singleton. I come from Miles City, Montana. My brother and sister-in-law came here before me, and I kind of just wanted to carry on that tradition. So,
yeah, coming from Miles City, Montana, a lot of Eastern Montanans end up here at Dickinson State. What's it like seeing some of the familiar faces that you competed against, that you went to school with here at Dickinson State?
It definitely is kind of becoming an Eastern Montana school. It's awesome to play against, or I guess with, the people you played against. It's kind of crazy. You always kind of felt they were competition, but now they're family. So it's pretty cool to become that family with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And this being your senior year, you've stuck here for 4 years. What's that experience been like, starting as a freshman and then kind of growing into this role your senior year?
Freshman year was quite nerve-wracking, like all others probably could agree with that. But becoming a senior, it's kind of crazy how fast it's gone. I should have taken it a little more seriously because it's flying by.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming into your senior role, do you see yourself taking more of a leadership role on the team, or has that always been something that you tried to do?
I've always tried to be a leader on that court, but I'm kind of more of the quiet leader. I want to be one that they can look at me whenever they needed it, but I didn't want to be that loud leader. There was always one of them, so definitely just like to be there for someone and just support them on that court.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got things started. What do you do to help the freshmen in those camps coming into the season?
Definitely just take what I've learned from Coach and kind of just keep going on with that. If they have any questions, show them that, show Coach's ways, and just be there for them whenever they needed it. But that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got a chance to go back to your home state, very far away from your home, though, on the other side of the state, and take on some Frontier Conference teams. You guys lost the first 2 games. What was kind of the talk after that first day in the Big Sky Volleyball Challenge in Butte?
Well, that first day we definitely had the first game jitters. The first day it happens. But I would say after that first day we came in strong. That second day we had no reason not to be nervous anymore. We came out. We knew where we were going to play rotation, so there was no reason to play strong. So that second day when we got those 2 wins, it's pretty great. I think we learned a lot from that weekend, and now we can just keep all that positivity from that weekend and move on to this next weekend.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, this next weekend you head to Great Falls. You take on Providence, which was formerly Great Falls, Carroll, Northern, and Western. What are those trips like for the team as a not only competing but team bonding throughout that whole time?
Definitely a long bus trip, so we, of course, are kind of a sleeping team, but when we get together, it's a fun trip. We watch movies. We just talk about it. It's pretty fun. Team bonding is always great on those long trips, eating and stuffing. So.
Yeah, and then another 4 games against Frontier teams. What are you guys trying to learn this early in the year as a team about each other?
So the Frontier Conference is a great conference. Getting that first win against Frontier team against Montana Western was probably the biggest accomplishment of my 4 years. So coming in and playing all Frontier Conferences games this weekend, I just kind of hoping to become at 4-0 this weekend and just kind of beat all those Frontier Conferences.
Yeah, and then from a team standpoint, what's the importance of these non-conference games that are important in some sense, but don't tag on to the conference standings?
I think we need to take these games pretty seriously, but also need to learn from them. Coming into our first game, home game, and regular season game next Tuesday at home, I think we should just learn what we need to learn this weekend and bring it on to the regular season games and just be ready for that.
Yeah, and then following those games on the road, you finally get to come back to Scott Gymnasium. You've practiced there, but you finally get to start your senior season at home against Presentation. But that'll also be Stanton Strong night. Coming from Miles City, what does that mean to you?
Stanton Strong Night is a very heartfelt memory. It's definitely pretty important to me. Dan was a great guy. He was a teacher, my history teacher, and a kind of a sideline coach, even though he always said he didn't really know much about volleyball, but he was always there on that sideline cheering for our team, and he was such a great guy, and I'm glad that we can carry on that Stanton Strong for us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Next 2 Tuesdays at home. What would you tell people that are considering to come out? What can they expect from the team this year?
Definitely a whole different team. Even though we've only lost 3 seniors, we are very strong. We're ready. We're excited for this year. I'm more excited for our student section to come. We have had a great student section in the past, so I think that'll be great to kind of just bring them on and hopefully free the student section this year and just be loud.
Yeah, what's been your biggest memory in the past 3 years competing at Scott Gym?
My biggest memory probably my sophomore year. We had 2 back-to-back games, a Friday night and a Saturday night. Football was here. They had a game that Saturday, and it was a very close game. I believe it was against Valley, but we won, and back-to-back games, and the crowd came onto the court, and it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, you are correct. We did win against Valley in football, volleyball, and baseball 4 times that weekend, so it was a big weekend against Valley.
It was awesome.
Well, best of luck to you, Shaylee, on this year.
Thank
we'll
you.
be out there cheering. We're going to be back with Shaylee's coach, Coach Hartman, right after this break. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. This time we're joined by Shaylee's coach, Coach Jen Hartman. We talked to Shaylee a little bit about that first road trip. What did you see from a coach's side after that first day going 0-2?
The first day was kind of rough. It was nice that we competed harder than years past, but we still had a lot of things we needed to improve on. And just kind of playing with confidence was a big part of it. And so going into that second day, they really came out a lot more confident, and you just saw kind of the first game jitters were gone, and they just did an excellent job that second day of turning it over and making it more of a positive experience.
Yeah, that second day you got 2 wins. You swept Multnomah University 3-0, and then you really grinded one out against Montana Western. What's it like to get a win like that where it's back and forth early in the year?
Oh, well, Multnomah, it was nice to get that sweep, kind of boost their confidence, and then going into the Western game, they knew it would be tough. You know, we've played Western in the past, and the last time we beat a Frontier Conference team was actually when I was an interim head coach, and it was Western to get into the tournament, so it was nice to get that win, and especially a 5-set win. It was really close and really intense in every set, so they really stuck through it and grinded through it, and we were proud of them for their effort and attitudes through it.
Right, and then talk to Shaylee a little bit about that team bonding experience. What do you see as a coach as the team travels together to the state?
I see a lot of sleeping people. No, but no, they really bonded a lot. We see really good chemistry so far, and they've just done an excellent job at staying together and building relationships with the underclassmen especially.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about those underclassmen, the freshmen that came in this year, and what they're doing to build the program from the bottom.
Oh, the freshman class we have this year is very athletic. Most of them, actually all of them, did at least more than one sport. A lot of them were 3-sport athletes in high school. So they just bring a lot of competitiveness to the upperclassmen, and they're definitely pushing them for positions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this next weekend, you head over to Great Falls, see some of those same Frontier teams. What's kind of the goal in this early season round robin format?
So far, I guess our biggest goal is just to learn and compete. We really just want to go out and compete with every single match and set that we play, and hopefully get better and better as we continue playing.
Yeah. Are these early games important to kind of, as you learning what rotations you need to build, what's the strategy going into conference?
Absolutely. It's nice to see who plays well next to each other and who hits well off of what setter, and it's a really big learning experience for us as a coaching staff, so we're excited to play these preseason tournaments and really get things figured out.
Yep, and it's not too far from conference play. Next Tuesday, you come back to Scott Gym, taking on presentation, and also Stanton Strong Night. That started last year. Tell us a little bit about how that began and how it's grown.
Well, Dan Stanton was my high school coach and history teacher, and he's just an amazing person. He's actually one of the reasons that I wanted to become a coach. And so very inspiring to not just the Miles City community, but I feel that all the state of Montana, all the coaches, and especially at Dickinson State with Pete being the football coach and Dan going to school at Dickinson State too. But we just really wanted to honor such an amazing person and coach, and the Stanton Strong Night is just an amazing way to do that. We have his mom, Pat, come, and we've had his sister come, and Terry gets to talk to the team this year and give the pregame speech, so that really means a lot to us, the support that they have for the night and everything too.
Yeah, and not only will there be those guests at the game, you'll also be selling shirts. What does that go to for Stanton Strong Night?
So the t-shirts are selling for $10 at the new Foundation House, and it will, all the proceeds will go to the Dan Stanton Memorial Scholarship, and that's given to a senior athlete every year of the family's choice.
Yeah, definitely a good cause there, so make sure you come out, make sure you get a t-shirt, and then Tuesday following that, you take on Jamestown, bitter foe of the North Star Conference, but they came into the year ranked 17th. It's tough to run into a team that good early in the year. What do you expect from your team?
Oh, Jamestown's good every year. It'll be great competition, but I expect us to compete hard and hopefully play pretty well against them.
Yeah, definitely. And as well, you guys are selling season tickets. Make sure you stop a volleyball player for that. Anything you want to add as far as why people should come out to Scott Gymnasium and watch the team?
We just really appreciate the support that the community has provided for us so far. It's nice that the crowds are getting larger and stuff, and we just want to continue to grow and build, and hopefully we have our Cancer Awareness Night coming up in October during homecoming week. We have an alumni game that a lot of alumni are coming back for, so it'll be nice to see some national All-American and athletes compete, and then we just have a lot of support so far, so we just want people to continue to come and watch us, and hopefully they enjoy the game and what they see.
Yeah, and we, as your athlete noted, you got to free the student section. Do you have any goal? Like, what do you see as a coach from the other side when the student section's going crazy?
Well, I can't look at them because I start laughing and I got to be professional. But they just do an amazing job. We absolutely adore our student section, and it's not only just us. Opposing teams' coaches come up to us after the game and they tell us, "Can we take your student section with us?" So they love it too. It's a great atmosphere to play in, and I know it helps the other watchers too, because, or the crowd, because they like, it's entertainment for them too. They do some pretty crazy things over there. So we're just excited that they get to be the great student section that they are this year.
Absolutely. Make sure you come out Tuesday the 12th next week, and then the 19th following that. Make that great environment of Scott Gymnasium that we know it can be. Best of luck to you, Coach.
Thank you, Parker.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll be back talking a little football with the offensive coordinator. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. This time we're joined by a football part of the staff, class of 2005, offensive coordinator Chase Schillinger. How's it going, Coach?
Good. How are you doing, Parker?
Excellent. And before we dive into the season, you graduated in 2005 from DSU. What's the venture been like to get back to DSU and be a coach for the last couple of years?
Well, I've bounced around, and it's I guess you stop at numerous places between the states of Montana and North Dakota and so forth, and you just eventually find your way back home. So it's good now. This is going into my 4th year here again. So yeah, just glad to be back. Looking forward to another good year here.
Yeah, and do you take anything from those experiences as a student athlete here to give to the freshmen, sophomore, seniors, all the way up?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we do offensively and how we want to play offensively and defensively, are ways that you learn as a player when I played here, and those are the things that we want to continue to try to instill in our players, now. And we preach physicality, we preach discipline and so forth, and those are the things that we played under with Coach Bijou, and we still try to instill those same qualities in our guys and our teams.
Yeah, you played under Coach Bijou. Are there any stories that you can tell on TV that stand out from that experience?
Not necessarily. There is some, you probably couldn't tell, but just the way he approached practice and the way he approached every day, whether it's practice or games, he was the same, and I think that's something that I really try to emulate nowadays, and he really loved going to practice every day, and practices were fun to him, and I don't know if they were so much fun to the players, but it's something we want to make for our team right now, we want to make it fun for our guys as well. So definitely a lot of things that, you don't win 278, how many games he won, and not do things the right way and have some fun doing it. And those are things that we're trying to still install in our guys here.
Yeah, and not only are you a part of the football team, but you're also a part of the BFAA and growing that mission, the Blue Feather Athletic Association, and progressing fundraising for our student athletes. What's that experience been like over the past year?
It's been great. I think for a while there, Dickinson State, maybe have gotten a little bit of a bad rap on some things around the community, and I think it's one thing that's nice is kind of coming full circle, and the support that the community and the alums and the businesses have shown for our university, and to know that all their dollars are going to help scholarships and help to get quality students, and then also on the athletic side of it as far as quality student athletes as well. And seeing where their money is making a difference in these kids' lives, and with the rates of tuition and stuff increasing, now's such a huge time for people to help our BFAA mission and also the foundations, and to try to get the students in here so that when they leave here, they can leave here with minimal debt, and try to help them out and make it a good experience for those student athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fans had a chance to come out and support those student athletes a week ago, a Thursday night in the BAC. It was a special night. You guys came out and Rocky just ran the ball for 8 minutes and scored a touchdown, and then your offense turned it over. What was your thought at that point when the defense was out there for that long?
Well, it wasn't the way we drew it up, I guess. It wasn't. The first quarter was definitely one you'd like to forget, both offensively and defensively. But credit our guys and credit our coaches, who really hung with the game plan and really battled back, and they really, those last 3 quarters, especially the 2.5 quarters there, that was what our football team is supposed to look like, and that's how we're supposed to play. But what a great atmosphere, open up on a Thursday, and a team that we're very familiar with as well. And I think one thing that definitely helped, the crowd, obviously our fans were amazing, they were great. But then also when you play a regional team like that, we recruit a lot of the same kids that they're getting, that definitely adds to your crowd as well. But it was a great atmosphere. It was a great team win for our guys, and it was a good one. To use a Coach Bijou slogan, at least you can't lose them all from that point. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the offense really turned it on in those last 3 quarters, specifically Tiger Fry, the redshirt freshman. It had a special performance on his first night on the field.
Yeah, he did. He had a really good. He's had a really good first couple weeks, and he has a knack of finding his way into space and getting the ball and making some plays after the catch. And that's something we really try to strive for with our guys, and finding some athletes when we're out recruiting to find guys that can do that. And he definitely embodies what we want out of our slot receivers. But yeah, he had a heck of a night, and offensively, I thought we had good balance too between the run and pass game, and that definitely set up a few of those Tiger Fry catches as well.
Yeah, absolutely, good team win there, 43-28. And then this past weekend, you took the squad over to Valley City, get into conference play to start early in the year. What did you kind of see from the offense in that game?
Well, I thought it was maybe about polar opposite of what the first game was. The first game we didn't start very well, but we finished fairly strong. And this game, we started well, but we didn't finish the game the way we would like it to be. So we did some good things. One of the first things we did, I guess, we got the ball first and went down 75 yards and scored a touchdown. And that's something that we've really been trying to push to our guys about, starting fast. And so that was good to see with our guys coming out the very first possession and going down and scoring a touchdown. You'd like to not turn it over to them and let them and throw a pick and give them a touchdown, but some of that stuff is things that I'll take the blame for and so forth. But I wasn't real happy with the way we finished the game offensively. We turned it over to them. We didn't get some key first downs. We had some third and shorts, and we just didn't convert. And those are things that we're really going to try to strive for this week and get better at. Yeah,
but you're on the offensive side of the ball, but you got to watch Jay Liggins on the defensive side of the ball. What did you think about his performance Saturday?
Well, I guess when you see him every day in practice too, some of those things just aren't overly surprising to you. He does some amazing things athletically, and you see it every day in practice, and then to watch it carry over to a game. He's a very special human being, and what he's able to play, he was able to make this last Saturday, definitely boosted on both sides of the ball. So he's fun to watch for sure. There's a couple on the other side of the ball that are fun players to watch.
Absolutely, a lot of good athletes out there. You take the team this upcoming Saturday, you head all the way to Iowa, you guys leave on Friday. What's a road trip like that for the team as far as trying to keep fresh the whole time?
Sure. Well, I think one of the things that Coach Stanton always stresses, is traveling well, and it's just a mindset, and so hopefully, we'll leave here Friday morning fairly early, and we'll head and probably practice somewhere along the way, and take there's plenty of stops. We'll take as many stops as we need to, and get down to Sioux Falls and stay overnight down there, and should get us in there at a decent time. But I think the more you stop and the more you kind of get guys off the bus, so they just can't just sit there for 10 hours straight. So we travel well. That it shouldn't be any excuse whether we win or lose. This game this next week should not be because of the 10-hour road trip or 11-hour road trip. So we'll travel well. We'll go down there, and our guys, we expect them to go down there and compete, and we'll see what happens. We're playing against a very, very good team, though.
Yeah, that's a team that is not in our conference, but is somewhat familiar. We played them last year. What do you expect to see from Northwestern?
Well, I expect the score to be a lot closer than the game was last year. I really don't think that the score last year indicated how close that game really was. Offensively for us, they did a heck of a job of shutting down our run game, and we had a hard time establishing the run game most of the day. We had a couple big plays that we got against them late that you can't bank on those happening all the time, and so I expect a lot closer game. They're a good team. They have a lot of tradition in their program. They're perennially a playoff team, and we look no further than what we played against them last year. They had a really good team, and look at them. Their last game of the year last year against Morningside, a team that's usually in the top 5, and they have them right down to the wire. They're winning the game, and they end up getting beat 14-13. So we don't need to look any further than that. But really, the road trip is mostly about us and about us improving and what we can do better ourselves rather than what the other team's going to bring to us.
Yeah, and then after that, you guys take a bye week coming off the long trip, and then you hit the long stretch of conference games. How important is every conference game this year?
Well, they're very important because they all count. You know, in previous years before, you know, the teams that you played twice, the first one did not count towards the standings, where this year they all count. So they're all very important. That's why this first game against Valley was very important, to go on the road and get a win against a very quality opponent. But yes, the next week, you know, next week coming back will be nice to give our guys a little bit of a breather. You know, we've been going strong now for well over a month, and it'll be a good time to kind of regroup and maybe get a little bit healthier, and you know, freshen up their minds a little bit, and then focus in the classroom and stuff like that. So when we come back, we got a big stretch coming back with conference games like you mentioned, and big games when we come back right away.
Yeah, absolutely. And the next time you'll be able to see Coach Schillinger and the rest of the squad in the BAC is September 30th against Presentation, and then you go on a little home streak there. But make sure you keep checking out their scores on DSUBlueHawks.com. Best of luck to you, Coach.
Thank you, Parker. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. The golf team is in town here Sunday, Monday at Hart River Golf Course. If you want to check that out, or if you need to help out, talk to Coach Thad O'Donnell. He'll get you lined up. And then next week we'll be back talking cross country as those two teams are defending their North Star Conference titles from the last 2 years. Until next week, Hawks are up.